Hey, hey. Thank you all so much for joining us today for Thrive Thursday. I hope everyone has recovered, taken a breath from Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, if you're joining us here in the States. And we're getting ready to dive into holiday season. So, this is actually a great time for today's topic. We're going to be chatting with my good friend, Sherri Donohue, who is a trail running enthusiast and coach. So, make a note, she's also a coach. And we're going to dive into a little bit of some basic fitness right in between while we're in between these two different holidays. Let me pop over. I'm going to bring her on in just a sec, but let me make sure that I am sharing to all the right places. Say hello. Drop where you're tuning in from, if you don't mind, and let us know. How are your fitness goals? Are you looking to get started? Waiting till after the holidays? Waiting till after the holidays? Are you a runner currently? Do you like to walk? Drop it down below. Outdoors, indoors, all kinds of things. Let's see. We're having a little bit of a lag here. All right, it's going into the group. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let me bring on our guest here. Give her a little bit more of an introduction. All right. Sherri, good to see you this morning.
Oh, good to be here.
Thanks so
Gorgeous morning.
much for popping in. Good. Yes, the sun is shining where we are as
Mhm.
well. I think when we talked on Monday, you just got hit with a bunch of snow up there in Canada where you're at. So, yeah, I bet you're super excited for the sun. So, this week we're going to dive into a topic that's not only great for fitness, but it's a great way to connect with nature and clear your mind, trail running. So, whether you're a seasoned runner or someone who's curious about lacing up your shoes for the first time, this session is for you. So, I'm excited to welcome on Sherri Donohue, trail running enthusiast and fitness advocate. Sherri is passionate about helping people of all fitness levels discover the joys and benefits of trail running, from improved physical health to mental clarity and stress relief. So today, Sherri is going to share her insights on how to get started with trail running, trip tips for beginners, and why hitting the trails is such an empowering fitness choice. So let's get started. Sherri, again, so thrilled to have you with us today. Could you start by sharing a little bit about yourself and what inspired your love for trail running?
Sure. Well, number one, I was not a runner. Like you think about, most people think about what they were in high school or school,
Right,
and
right.
I absolutely was not a runner. No way.
Ah,
I grew up on a farm. The only time you ran if my horse got out of the fence, or I played fastball, and it was running to the base.
fastball. What's fastball? Is that like
It's
baseball?
it's, what they call it now is softball. So fastball,
Oh, okay.
softball. It's
Okay.
a lot of times
Yep.
it was called men's fastball, women's softball, but
Gotcha.
it's
Okay.
the underhand, the windmill pitch, and that's what I used to do.
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
I built for strength, not
Yeah.
built for strength, not for speed. So I
Mhm.
wasn't a runner, absolutely not. I tried at one
Wow.
point
That's
of
so
time.
inspiring.
And I tried at one point in time, and it was, it hurt. It was like, nah, yuck, running. No, nobody does that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
I'll run
actually
on my horse. I'll get on my horse and then we'll
yeah,
go running.
exactly.
Yeah.
You have motorcycles for that. Like,
Yeah.
why should I do that? And ironically enough, I actually was on the cross country running team in high school. And the
Hmm.
only reason I was on is so I can have some days away from the building.
Motivation. Hey, it's motivation, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to say how I did on that team, but anyway. Um, But anyway, afterwards, like, I've always been in sports of some sort, so it
Mhm.
was, softball, fastball growing up. I
Mhm.
played competitive I was on the badminton team in college. I
Mhm.
curled for, numerous
Mm,
years, and,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, and I played ball for years, and then after I downhill skied, so I was on the ski
Mhm.
patrol,
Mhm.
and, in I think it was 42 when I was 42, I got into martial arts. And
Wow.
I actually am an almost black belt. I'm a C Hing with a junior teacher,
Yeah.
in, kung fu.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
so
you.
exciting. What
Thank
an
you.
accomplishment. Yeah, that's huge accomplishment for sure.
It is. Thank you. And, in
Mhm.
our boot camps, like, our boot camps were based on it was the black kinda like the black belt grading you go through. Like, you go all
Right.
through these sessions, and at the end, you had, like a black belt grading as in,
Mhm. Mhm.
practice, and there was a
Mhm.
2-kilometer run after that, and I'm like,
After that.
after that was
Whew.
a 2-kilometer
Oh my
run,
gosh.
and it
Wow.
was it
Brutal.
was I couldn't, like, this wasn't something I could do, and one of the guys screamed what he screamed just for motivation was, "There's a bear behind you." I turned around and went,
There you go. Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah, yeah, you're not getting me with that one."
Right.
But,
Oh.
and actually that boot camp, I had joined kung fu 2 weeks before, and I was in the boot camp,
Mhm.
so, whether I'm a sucker for punishment or whatever. But as I got in later in kung fu, I was on the, team called the Io Schwan, which was the
Mhm.
we set our goals higher and stuff, and we
Right.
also did weapons. And one of the girls said, "You know what? Be so fun if we did this." It's called Mud Hero. It's, like an
Mhm.
obstacle course race. So
Mhm.
it was up a ski hill, and it was 6 kilometers, obstacles through the mud. And she goes,
Right.
"Let's do it as a team." And I went,
Wow.
"No,
As a team.
no."
Yeah.
And my I'm like, because they had done it before and they had so much fun. I'm like,
Of course.
"Whatever, forget it." No. And then my husband, who is so not a runner, he is the couch
Mhm.
potato of the family type thing. And he's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, that sounds like fun." He enrolled me.
He enrolled you. Did he enroll too?
Yeah, he did too. And he
How
enrolled
much
me.
fun.
I almost killed him. Like, it's like,
I can
"What are
imagine.
you doing?"
Yeah, right.
No.
Right, right.
And I honestly was like 6 kilometers, who does that? Who does that this far? And I was
6 kilometers, just remind me, what's the conversion on that in
oh,
miles? What
okay.
is that? Yeah, just okay.
Kilometers,
Yeah.
a kilometer is point 0.6 of a mile.
Okay,
So
okay.
if, you look at it, it's about 3
So
miles,
it's about 3
3
miles.
and a half miles.
That's not a short distance, I mean,
Well,
with
especially when you got a
obstacles
ski hill
and in the
involved.
mud.
When you got mud and a ski hill
Yeah,
involved.
exactly.
So anyway,
Wow.
I was terrified of this thing. I thought, like, I thought, "I'm gonna die. I'm
Mm.
gonna get left behind. I'm gonna die." I have a blog post up there called Mud Chicken,
Right.
and that's what and that's where I was going in,
Everybody go read
and
that, Blog Chicken.
he's Mud
Mud
Chicken. I gotta
Chicken, Mud
find
Chicken.
it. You gotta find that silly thing. So, what had happened, long story short, it ended up that, there was actually 4 of us that stuck together, my husband
Mhm,
included, and with
mhm,
4 of us that stuck together, we
mhm,
did the whole thing, and I
mhm.
didn't die, which was great, and
Clearly, yes.
it was, it was funny when I was going up a hill, up the hill, and I was just charging up the hill, and the one girl went,
Mhm.
"You go, sister," and I went, "Yeah, you too." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Well,
Uphill, oh my
after
gosh.
we're done here, and I looked at that, I actually didn't do that bad, which was great.
Yeah.
And, there's a race that another a girl on the team that they go in every year is,
Mhm.
called Canadian Death Race, and it's
Oh
125
my
kilometers,
goodness.
20 kilometers, 3 mountain ranges, a river crossing, and 24
Wow.
hours to do it in. And they go in as a team, and,
Yeah.
they had one of their team members bail, and she asked me if I would do
Mhm,
Lake 3. It was 19 kilometers, and I'm like,
mhm.
"No way, man." And so,
Wow.
um, it was funny because, we were after Mud Hero, it was a great event. We as a team, we bonded. It was actually
Mhm,
one of the best events of my life.
mhm,
And, we're pulling out of the parking lot, and I looked at Dennis, my husband, and I says, "I want Death
mhm.
Race." And he looked at me and says, "What did you say?" And I went, "I have no idea.
Uh-oh.
I have no idea."
You just finished and you were ready to go again. That's amazing. What a
So,
testament.
the next year, what happened is, I she had a full team, so I thought,
Mhm.
"Well, maybe get my own team type thing." And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said to another guy, in kung fu,
Mhm.
and I mentioned Death Race, and he goes, "I have that's a bucket list of mine to
It's on his
go
oh,
Mount
no.
Hamel." Like,
Yeah.
it's 37
Wow.
kilometers. It's the bucket
Uh-huh.
list of mine. So there was the 2 of us. And
And you
so
needed
anyway,
4? It's a four-man team that has to go? 5, okay.
5-person
Okay.
team. So
5
anyway,
person, yeah.
and so he and I were on the team. So I asked another guy in my class. I said,
Mhm.
death race, and because he's tall and skinny, he's got to be a runner, like tall, skinny.
Yeah, right, right, yeah,
And he
exactly.
looked. He goes, "No, I'm not a runner." And I says, "Oh, okay," because Tim
Yeah,
Chick and I are looking at doing Hamel
right.
or death race, and he said, "What? What'd you say?" And I went, uh, team for
Because
death
everybody
race."
knows, yeah.
And he said, "My girlfriend and I, that's bucket list. Yeah, we'll be on your team."
Oh,
I had 4.
wow. Oh my goodness.
And it ended up that I thought, well, if there's
Yeah.
going to be 5,
Uh-huh.
then, like if I was supposed to be in there, it'd be 5. Yep, there was 5.
Yep.
So here
Wow.
we are,
Yeah.
and we're in this team. And these we were all kung fu martial artists.
Mhm.
None of us are
Mhm.
runners. And
Mhm.
I chose leg 5 because
Mhm.
like, I don't have to worry about the time coming in. Like,
Right,
I don't
right.
have to worry about any of this. So I
Smart
thought.
strategy. Oh,
So I
no.
thought. So anyway, everybody did their leg. We were all go. It's good for me to go. And of course, like leg 5
Yeah.
is it's no slouch. It's not the
Mhm.
toughest. It's about the 3rd toughest leg. And of
Mhm.
course, out of the exchange up the hill, well, I hit, and I was like,
Yeah.
and I had my come to Jesus moment right then and there.
Mhm.
And I pretty much, started to cry.
Aw.
I did cry because it was a long way up and it was in the dark. Like I'm doing
Oh
this
my
in the
gosh.
dark and I with my headlamps, and I just went, it's a long way up,
Wow.
it's a long way down. I don't know if I could do this. And I come with, there was 2 big realizations. Number 1,
Mhm. Mhm.
all of my team did their jobs.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
don't do mine. Nobody gets
None
the
of it
prize.
counts. Yeah.
None of it counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other realization was that my team already peeled it out of the parking lot. They were headed towards the campground.
They were waiting for you. They were
They're
ready to meet
they're
you at the end.
gone.
Yeah, right.
So I have a choice. I can either put my tail between my legs and crawl back down that mountain, or I could go forward. So I went, I
Yeah.
might as well go forward.
There you
So
go.
at that point in time, I wasn't a runner. I know I'm a power walker. I settled
Mhm.
into being a
Okay.
power walker because I can go
Yeah,
and
yeah.
cross the finish line
Amazing.
and prove to myself, prove that I can do something. Like it was something I never thought I could do. That leg was
Mhm.
uh, at that time I was saying 21 kilometers, whether it's 18, 21
Wow.
kilometers, depending on measurements. But I
Yeah.
did that, and it was something that the original guy and I, we talked about for months afterwards, that we did something we never thought we could. And
Mhm.
right out of
Mhm.
that, I thought, bucket list type thing, done. I wanted
You
more.
were you
I
were hooked.
wanted
You were
more.
hooked.
So I looked for every race after that. So, yeah, I
Wow.
went from there, and I was in the thing, "Well, I've done that distance. What about the next distance? What about the next
Mhm.
distance?"
Mhm.
And I don't
Mhm.
exactly advise going that route. But anyway, I ended up, finding out about ultra marathons, and I
Oh my
found I love
goodness.
the distance of the ultra marathons. And
Uh-huh.
it ended up that a lot of people, when they start running, they look at what's running. If I said what's running, most people think
Mhm.
it's a sprint.
Mhm. Right.
Most people thinks it's a sprint.
Sure.
And it's also, you see people that are that's not
That would
running
be
either.
me. Yes.
Yeah, that's not
That would
running.
be me. That's
No,
not
no, no,
running.
no,
Okay.
that's not running
So,
either.
for someone getting so for getting started, what advice do you have for beginners who would want to get started but don't know where to begin and who think that's what they're getting themselves into, is the sprint, is the heavy breathing, is the that sort of thing? How do you
No.
get started? Yeah.
How do you get
Fill us
started
in.
is,
Mhm.
one, I'm a big advocate of starting naturally. And
Mhm.
yes, I
Okay.
do believe in having, uh, goals and stuff, but
Yeah.
to start naturally, and the whole thing is one of the most there's common causes of injuries is number 1, too much too soon,
Mm.
too hard too soon, too
Mhm.
fast too soon.
Mhm.
And the thing is, like, I started running after the age of 50.
Yes.
So,
So
um,
inspiring. It can
so
happen. We can
oh,
do it.
and I'll share another. Okay, this 2019 trail special.
Yeah.
I'm page 13.
Look at that. I love it. Take a screenshot. That's amazing. Oh my goodness.
That's me. And I have to say, one of the best
What
moments
a
of my
great
life is like
photo.
in the store when I walked up to the counter and I'm like,
That right. See, that's me. That's me.
and the clerks are
That's
teller
great.
clerks are going, "That's you."
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Sign my copy.
Yeah. And the one thing I would say is I'm going to debunk a myth out there
Mhm.
that
Please
if
do.
you walk, you're not a
Mhm.
runner.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's utter garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage.
You
Yes,
said you
of
were a
course.
power walker, right?
I was a power
Mm.
walker and I
Mhm.
was very firm and I'm a power walker, I'm not a runner.
Right,
Well, I've
right.
also evolved as well too. And here's the deal
Mhm.
is that when you start naturally and if I walk, I'm not a runner, I'll tell you where you're a runner first is up here.
Mm.
You have to be willing to go and get it. So how do you start? Is just go and start by walking because the thing is if you're getting off the couch now I didn't start from off the couch. But if
Right,
you're starting off
right.
off the couch, is be gentle with yourself. Just go for enjoying it. And
Mhm.
honestly, how I started running was in the death race. There's the icon. His name is Dag, and he
Mhm.
trotted.
Ah,
That's all
okay.
he did. Like,
That's all he did.
trotting,
Yeah, yeah,
trotting from being
yeah.
horses
Right,
is like
right,
it's an easy trot gait, and you
right.
could do it for a long, long time. And that's the
Uh-huh.
thing with
Sustainable.
endurance sports. You're
Ah,
not bursting it out, you're not going for broke,
right.
you're not Sha'Carri Richardson,
Yeah,
and it's the only time I'm Sha'Carri Richardson is when I'm going to the finish line. That's the only
yeah.
time.
That's when you dash. Yeah.
That's when I
Okay.
dash,
Okay,
and
okay.
that's the thing is to do it naturally and let it evolve, and I was with a girl, and I said, "I'm really sorry if I'm really slow," and she goes, "Look, if I wanted to run, I'd be up there. I'm here because I'm with you."
Mhm.
And that's another thing that people need to pay attention to. If somebody's
Mhm.
with you, it's because they want to be with you. If they
Aw,
wanted to run, they'd
love
be up
that.
there.
Right, right.
And she says, "Okay," and it was down the hill. She says, "Run to
Mhm,
that tree over there." So I
mhm,
ran to that tree over there. And
mhm,
I didn't run, I just
mhm.
ran to that tree, and I
Yeah.
increased that distance just
Mhm,
naturally and organically.
mhm.
And I would
Love
say
that.
in January, I started just increasing the distances, and there was one I was around the lake, and I
Mhm,
couldn't get that distance, and I'm gonna go slower.
mhm.
Yes, slower is a thing, and
Slow is
slower
okay. Slow is
slower is a
okay.
thing, and I went slower, and I got that distance.
Mhm.
Well, that was January, in that
Okay.
May, I did my first 50K.
Wow. From January to May. That's amazing.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Now would I recommend people do that? Not necessarily. So, how you
That was
start
intentional. Yeah, intentional effort, definitely.
well, because I was in the mindset, "Well, I already did that distance. What about that distance? What about that distance?" And
Right.
then I really peeled myself back and went and said, "Okay, let's just start. Let's settle in and let's get
Mhm,
good at a certain
mhm,
distance. Where's my sweet spot?"
mhm.
And
Right,
I found my sweet
right.
spot of what I like to run. But for people
Mhm,
getting started, is just enjoy it.
mhm.
Enjoy that you're out there and, just, okay, let's just trot to that next tree that in if you're road running or on that next lamp post, it doesn't matter,
Right,
but let
right.
yourself evolve into it. And
Mhm.
one of the things I will say, the most important thing, and
Love
people
that.
find out afterwards, is their footwear.
Yes, you were gonna show us
Yes,
how to put good footwear. Yes.
absolutely, and a client who's gonna work with me, well, there's 2
Mhm,
things I and and this is where I differ from a lot of coaches. I don't just hand you a training plan.
mhm.
Number 1, the first thing I'm gonna ask you is about your feet. I'm
Right,
gonna ask
right.
because think about your feet are the most important tool that you have beside your mind, and all of this is 90% mental.
Wow.
So whether you think you can, you think you can't,
Mhm.
or if you think I'm so slow, yeah, you're programming yourself.
Mhm.
But if you go out there, I'm just
Mindset.
going to enjoy
Right.
myself and give yourself the best equipment you can. So with
Right.
shoes,
Mhm.
Walmart specials, I'm sorry, will not take you very far.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go one step before that is what are you in
Mhm.
most of the time?
Oh, like your regular footwear. What are
Your
you
regular
usually?
footwear. What are you
Oh,
in
because
most of the
that's
time?
okay. Okay.
If you're kind of like barefoot, then that's a little different story than if you're in
Mhm.
high heels.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
See,
Never would
that's
have
what
thought of this.
there's where
Yeah.
your starting point is, and
Okay.
also, what do you do? Are you sitting at a desk all day, or are you on your feet a lot?
Mhm.
Because that's gonna determine how quickly or not you evolve.
Right.
Because
Right.
when you
That makes
start,
sense.
all your muscles, your joints, your ligaments, they have to be conditioned. And it's better to condition them as a walk and just getting into a good smooth walking gait than it is
Mhm.
to go start running because
Mhm.
that too much too soon. So I'm going to show you
Makes
this
sense.
is a road shoe.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a road shoe,
A road
and
shoe.
I'm going to
Yep.
point out some features on this. I'm going to point out some features on this.
Okay.
But take a look at the bottom. Okay? If you
Yeah.
take a look at the bottom, it's fairly smooth.
Right. Okay.
This is
Not
a
a lot of
trail
grip.
shoe.
Ah, it's got the grips on the yep.
They've got
Okay.
the grips and
Tread.
think
Uh-huh.
traction. And
Yep.
trail shoes, you need the traction. And so why do I run trail? Part of it's more location. I'm in the
Mhm.
country, so I have a lot of
Right.
trail. And trail is think about nature.
Mhm.
Trail is all about nature. There's trees, there's roots, there's rocks, there's mountains, there's hills, there's everything. I've
Right.
ran in the desert, I've ran mountain, I've ran in sand dunes.
Oh my
It's
gosh, that's amazing.
it's
I love
you're
it.
in nature.
Yeah.
So there's that nature bathing that's out there. Now for road running, do I run road? Yeah, I'll run road.
Mhm.
I've run a marathon. It was a downhill marathon.
Mhm.
And I look for ones that are going to have a nature component. But so when you look at a shoe, this is a
Yeah.
shoe. This is called a foot shape. It is
Okay.
by a brand named Ultra.
Okay.
There's, I'm going to say, proper fit. The best thing you could do is get shoes that properly fit.
Mhm.
And here's how you properly fit. We're told to have a thumb width between
Mhm.
your longest toe, it might not be your big toe, but between your
Longest toe.
longest toe and the
Right.
end. There
Right.
has to
Okay.
be a thumb width, okay?
Mhm.
Your
Okay.
heels have to fit in here. Now, the thing is, this is a fit for her because female heels are narrower.
Oh, interesting.
Male feet are shaped more or less like this, females are
Uh-huh.
like that.
Huh.
So you have it fitting there. But here's the most
Hmm.
important of where people don't have it fit properly is across here.
Right.
And think about it.
Yes.
If you wear
The
how many
hardest
of you
part
wear
to fit.
stilettos or those sexy, the sexy stilettos and stuff, and your feet are crunched in
I can't do it, my feet won't do it, but yeah, I'd love to if my feet would do it.
pair of snakeskin,
Mhm.
stilettos, and I should have brought them up. They were snakeskin stiletto, and, they're great.
Woo!
They're fabulous for photo shoots, and that's the only thing I wear them for.
Right.
That's the only thing.
Not for
But
yeah, not for walking around shoes for
no.
sure.
If you look at it, if you go barefoot, watch your foot when you're
Mhm.
barefoot, and if these were
Mhm.
your toes, you find
Mhm.
your foot flexing like this
Right.
when you're walking.
Okay.
Your toes have jobs to do. So does the arch of your foot, by the way.
Uh-huh.
So if you don't have enough room across here,
Right.
you are cramming in.
Flex.
So let's say your foot
Oh.
fit like this,
Mhm.
and you're doing your walk, your run. What's
Ooh,
happening?
that looks painful.
It's constrictive.
Yeah.
But my feet are okay, but your knees might not be, and neither
Oh,
might your
your
hips
hip.
or your neck. It all goes up the chain. So
Oh,
being properly fit is
okay.
paramount, and go to a good running store, and I'm gonna say a good running store where they're runners
Mhm.
themselves and be
Right.
properly fit. What
Okay.
brand I get asked, "Well, what brand should I have?" And it's here's the I'll give you the answer. The best shoe out there
All
are
right.
the ones
Write
that
it
fit
down,
your feet.
everyone. Pencils at the ready.
Yep, it's the ones that fit your feet.
Ah,
The ones that fit your feet and
Of
are
course.
comfortable because fit and
Okay.
comfort are paramount. It doesn't matter the brand. I run
Mhm.
exclusively in Ultras because they fit my feet.
Mhm.
Some people
Right.
love Solomon, some people like Asics, but the fit
Mhm.
is number 1.
Mhm.
Fit's number 1. So just recap, just the whole thing is
This whole thing. Yep.
thumb width,
Okay.
wide enough across here. If you put them
Yep.
on and you've got they're touching here,
Mhm. Mhm.
they're too small for
Oh,
you.
that's too small.
Too
Interesting.
small.
Okay.
No, you
Okay.
need to have that
A
width
little bit
across
of
here.
okay.
That those are the 2 main things, and you must fit
Good to
into here. So you don't want your shoes to be flopping. Some people say, "Well,
right.
go up a half size." You don't need to if your shoes are fit properly.
Mhm. Interesting. So this is gonna take a little bit of, it's not necessarily go buy the fanciest or most expensive shoe on the market. You need to go try some things on and see
Absolutely,
what's
and
good for
try 'em
you. Yeah.
on. Get your size first, and then ask for all the
Mhm.
models.
Mhm.
Ask for all the models in your size. Now, I think if you're going road, you could do these are road
Mhm.
shoes. These will
Right. A
also
little
work
smoother.
on
Okay.
packed trail as well
Yeah.
as any paved trail. These are
Okay.
fine. These are
Okay.
fine. They've got some cushioning in there. When you want the
Mhm.
grips is when you want traction. So if you're in
Mhm.
mud, if you're on the steeps, stuff
Right.
like that,
You're
that's
gonna
when you
want
want trail.
those. Okay. Okay.
So what you do is you ask for all the models, take off
Yeah.
put your socks in that you're gonna wear. Now I'm gonna mention something about socks.
Okay. Good.
Cotton is rotten.
Really? But it's
Cotton
breathable, right? It's breathable. No.
Think about take your cotton sock and wet it.
Mm.
Where's the moisture?
Mm. Yeah, in the sock.
In the sock, and
Yeah.
that's a blister magnet.
Okay.
So you're better off with,
Yeah.
wool is one of the things I wear, but actual
Mhm.
running socks. Now, I'm a big fan
Mhm.
of toe socks that are between the
Mhm.
toes, but there's lots of really, really good brand,
Mhm.
features, Swiftwick, Smartwool, Injinji, like, there's lots of good brands. Get good
Yeah.
running socks,
Running
and
socks.
because
Okay,
if
actual
your
running
feet get
socks.
wet, the
Mhm.
moisture wicks it away, but basically what happens is if you've got a moisture that's this big, in a
Mhm.
wicking sock, it'll make it this
Right.
big, but if you flip it on its end, you start
Yeah.
with the moisture being this big, it ends up being thin so it can dry.
Oh, clever. Okay. Hadn't really thought about that. It just figured, get your basic old cotton sock or sport sock and go from there. Okay. So this really is, you want to set yourself up with the right equipment for sure
Mhm.
because yeah.
For sure, and put socks on and try all the models. See what feels good. Don't lace them up
Mhm.
yet. See what
Mhm.
feels good on the get-go. Any rubs, any whether it's rubbing on the ankle, anything, any rubs,
Yeah.
out out they go,
And they're out.
and have it as a narrowing down process to fit your feet.
Okay. And don't lace them up yet. Only do that after you find the shoe that feels good on your foot. Interesting. I never would have thought of that.
2 or
Okay.
3 shoes that fit good on your feet, and if they have a treadmill for you to run on, definitely
Mhm.
do that and have the analysis, and I'm gonna debunk another method, is, people say, "Well, I pronate," and what pronate means is you roll your foot inside.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Everybody does.
Ah.
It's whether it's how far you roll. Remember,
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever
Okay.
seen kids skating and they're skating on their ankles.
Yes.
Well, that's not a
Yes.
good thing. That's not a
Yes.
good thing. Because what your ankle is actually a combination of about 12 different joints in there. So
Mhm.
it's got the rack and kind of like the rack and pinion and the mobility.
Right,
So it
right.
needs to do its job. And if
Okay.
it's stuck in there and can't do its job,
Mhm.
it's going to go up the chain into the knees, into the hips.
Oh, okay. So it is worth the time and investment to get it right from the very beginning.
It is,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I will say that for injury prevention, and I one of the groups I belong to, I went and said, if you were to tell your running self, starting running self, what you do
Mhm.
over again,
Mhm.
one of the top answers was get proper footwear.
Interesting.
Get proper
Yeah.
footwear.
Right. Right. Because we don't really think about it, because it does. It goes up from your foot to your ankle, to your knee, to your hip, all the way up to your neck. We don't really think about that. We just think, "Well, we gotta go. They gotta feel good, and we gotta go."
Mhm.
So, yeah, but if you're in it, for fitness and for sort of the, a long-term commitment, then yeah, you definitely need to write the right equipment. So thank you. Those are some fantastic tips. I'm gonna have to, and I've always had trouble finding the right kind of shoe. You figure, I mean, here, Nike, Reebok, Asics, New Balance, and some of those just have never felt good at all. But I'm gonna have to take your method and just go to the store and try them all on again. Don't lace them up.
Absolutely, because there
Yeah.
is the shoe for you, and if you tell me, well, and
Yeah.
also, is your foot wider or
It is. It's on the wider side.
okay.
I've never been narrow, so that's difficult to begin with, finding which
Mhm.
brands will have, the W on there to begin with.
Try
But,
for a foot shape, number 1, and the difference
mhm,
between a foot shape, if you look at your
mhm,
foot, it doesn't go
mhm,
straight. It has that
mhm.
curve.
Right,
And
right.
so look for a foot shape, and one thing to do, and this is the one thing to see if your foot if it's wide enough, is take the insole out and step on it.
Oh,
Take the
well,
insole out and step on
that's a
it.
better
Your
visual.
foot
Yeah.
should
Mhm.
sit inside that insole.
Oh, and
Any
not be
overlap
on the side. Yeah, okay.
any overlap, not the shoe for you.
Is not gonna okay. All right. Well, that gives me hope. Because
Oh,
honestly, it can be one of those things that just holds you back, right? You can't find the right shoe to fit, and even just walking outside, going for, 5, 10, 15-minute walk can be torture if you don't have the right the right things on your feet.
well, exactly.
I
It's like the right saddle on the horse.
Yeah, exactly. I know. We never, until my daughter started riding competitively, we were like, what is all this about, fat saddle fit and and whatnot? But it really does. It makes a total difference. Yeah,
Or and
exactly.
here's one thing, is like the right fit for a bra.
Yes. Even more to the point. Painful all day or comfort in 24 hours for sure. So great. All right. So we've got some top tips on how to get ourselves both started with the right equipment. Are there any safety considerations that we should take into account for either road or trail running?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, for for if you're running in the city, particularly women,
Hmm.
and I see this in the forums a lot, is
Hmm.
a lot of people, they like to plug in.
Yeah.
And with the earphones, you need to be aware of your surroundings, and this doesn't matter if you're on the trail or
Hmm.
on road running, is you need to hear what's going on.
Just like driving, you got to be aware of
Yeah. It
yeah.
just to be yeah, just to be aware. Actually, some races will not allow any
Oh,
earphones.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So be
Okay.
look at where you're running and,
Hmm.
running at night. There's some people that run at night, some people who don't. If you could run in a group that you
Hmm.
like, find a good running group and also screen the running group and see
Yeah.
if they actually do run with that last runner, if you're a slower runner, if they run with that last runner, because
Hmm.
any group that believes in leaving somebody behind or anything, that's not a good running group. So
Yeah.
if you a lot of times, there's meetups, I think, like that
Hmm.
that they allow for, that you can meet up, but look and see where you're running, and is there any, I'm gonna say,
Hmm.
hidden dangers. Women with long hair, this was
Hmm.
a tip that I saw, is like, the ponytail flopping, that's
Right.
something easy to
Oh,
grab.
right. Very true.
And one lady does a bun at the back of her ha of
Hmm.
does a bun at the back. So that's also a safety tip, and that's more so if you're road running. Be well lit. There's running vests that you can get that they are like, it's like a
Like
glow
reflective?
light.
Yes. Okay.
Reflective vests.
Mhm.
Headlamp
Okay.
is another thing as well too.
Mhm.
Let people
Mhm.
know where you're going and when you're gonna be back.
Mhm.
And
Basic safety. Yep.
basic safety for that. Trail running
Yeah.
is, and I will say this for both road and trail, if you're, to pack, plan for the stop, not the go. And especially in winter, an
Mhm.
emergency blanket and hand warmers, have that
Mhm.
in there. And that's for summer as well too, because you never
Mhm.
know what can happen. And your phone, have a contact that
Right.
your phone, in if it's in the colder weather, carry it against your body, because batteries get cold.
That's true. That's true.
and make sure your phone's charged before you go, because
Yeah.
you want to, not only your phone for your selfie,
Yeah,
absolutely,
right.
taking
Running
little
again today.
pictures, you need that, but for contact,
Yeah.
make sure your phone's
Right.
like, charged or as a good charge before you go.
Right.
And uh,
Okay.
I like to people ask, do running vest or not? You can get away with a belt that you can have snacks and your hydration and in there,
Mhm. Mhm.
but go with what's comfort. And especially if
Right.
you're trail running, is also uh, if there's any wildlife around. Personally, I pack bear
Mm.
spray because that's
Okay.
what could be around. Now, bear spray is not only for bear spray; it's also for coyotes, cougars,
Oh my
and
gosh.
dogs. Like, people let their
Right.
dogs off leash,
They
and you have
do.
dogs that run up.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
bear spray can be used on a human too. So,
Ye
so look at
Multi-purpose.
where multi-purpose, yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so look at where you're running. And I'm
Mhm.
going to say to all the ladies out there, the common color ladies love to run in is black.
It's probably not a good choice, right?
For your bottoms, it's a beautiful choice, but make
Ooh,
sure you've got the reflectiveness on there.
got some color on there. Yeah.
Zaya leggings have a reflective, they're black and they look like white paint splatters. Those are
Oh,
reflective
nice.
tights.
Okay, okay. Yep, I have some wine-colored exercise wear from Zaya. So, yeah, that's a great brand. Love
Oh, you're
it.
in Zaya too? Oh, okay.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Um, the
That might be
bomber
a whole
bra
other show.
the bomber bra is a fabulous bra,
It
and if you're
is.
looking for
So
one,
comfortable.
that's
Yes.
my number one, and, it'll rat
Mhm.
you out on your running form if you're not running properly. So I love
Ooh.
the bomber bra, but the one that I recommend for,
Mhm.
if you're doing longer is the All-Star.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Mhm.
Those
Yep.
2. Those 2 are
Yeah,
my go-tos.
the go-tos. Yeah. Write those down. These are some fantastic tips, ladies. We're gonna be outfitted. We're gonna be ready to run, literally ready to run, Sherry.
And for leggings, life is
Yeah.
too short for leggings that droop and sag.
Oh, nobody likes droopy and saggy leggings. So do you like the ones from Zaya as well for that, or do you have a different recommendation? Yep, those are
Um,
good.
I've tried many, and,
I'm
I've
sure.
tried
Yeah.
many different pairs of leggings, Lulu and Zaya, some Zayas are like, yeah, Zaya
Mhm,
and some Lulus are pretty
mhm.
comparable.
Okay.
Zaya's my go-to. I
Mhm.
love Zaya
That's
leggings. I love
fantastic.
the Lighten tights. That is
Yep.
particular, the Lighten tights. The
Mhm,
shorts, Zaya Lighten, those longer shorts, the black ones with the pockets, they're not bad.
mhm,
I love my
mhm.
Sequoias.
Okay,
It's a
okay.
different one, but the Zaya
Yeah,
Light and Tight, absolutely, that is my go-to legging.
and I think that has the phone pocket in the side, doesn't it?
Yes, they
That
have
could be yeah, they've got a
pockets on the
pocket.
side. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Do I like carrying? I'll tell you what I carry in there are my snacks.
Oh, in your in the pocket, that's funny.
Oh, you betcha.
And what kind of snacks do you like to take with you? We could keep going. Oh my gosh, we're way over 15 minutes, but that's okay. This is fantastic. What kind of snacks are you packing, Sherry?
Okay, what kind of snacks? Let's talk food. Well
It's getting to be lunchtime for us. I don't know about you.
well, we're no, we're coming up to 11 o'clock.
We're getting it
Um,
there.
those
Yeah.
peanut butter, those energy bites that you had, those peanut butter
Oh,
energy bites,
yes.
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 A
Uh-huh.
lot of people look, "Oh, I'll just take gels and stuff like this." Believe
Right.
me,
Right.
I would say have a gel in case you're going into what's called a bonk or where you're like
Mhm.
it's where you have no energy and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Carry a
Okay.
gel with you.
Right. Kind of for a
You
quick pick me up if you need it.
quick pick
Yeah.
me up. You can take
Okay.
Skittles with you. You can take some
Okay.
candy for that. But if you're
Mhm.
going for that, you actually need some food stuff.
Mhm.
Those energy bites are really good that you have.
Mhm.
Any if
Great.
you have in the US, the Bobo's bars or find your
Yeah.
favorite bar. Personally, I love Go Macros.
Mhm.
There's also, the Cliff Bars. I love the Cliff Bars that
Yes.
look like an
Yes.
oatmeal cookie. Those are really
Right.
good.
Those are good. Okay.
Those are good. So and it really gets to be a personal thing
I
as
bet.
to
Yeah.
what you like. And if you're going out
Mhm.
for up to an hour, having something in case you get into trouble type thing,
Yeah.
that's for that. Like with me, like if I'm going for
Yes.
3 hours and stuff, I have my fuel for along the way.
Right.
And,
Right.
for
Awesome.
running, especially trail, walking,
Mhm.
hiking, absolutely,
Mhm.
they're all considered okay, I'll tell you what's considered running and trail.
Mhm.
Walking, hiking,
Mhm.
scrambling,
Mhm.
crawling, post
Scrambling,
hole.
what's scrambling? I mean, I have an image in my head, but that's probably what I'd be doing, is scrambling.
Scrambling is when you come across a boulder field, you're not running up a boulder field. So
Okay,
it's
okay,
that's called scrambling.
okay, got it.
I was on a steep pitch with scree, which is that shale that's slippery. I
Yeah.
was on all fours. So
Oh my
you're
goodness.
crawling on
Wow.
that. Post holing, which means if you step in deep snow and you're up to your thighs,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
all included. Like when you look at
Ooh,
trail
yeah,
running, it's a
okay.
multi-gate sport now. Are all
Oh,
trails
I
like
like
that?
that. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
right,
No. No, no.
right,
It's
right.
look for the beauty. Look for the
Mhm,
beauty to be out in nature. Most common, you're gonna find
mhm.
dirt,
Mm.
you're gonna find tree roots, and you're gonna find gravel, and you're gonna find some water puddles.
Right, right. Just sort of your base. And what's great about trail running versus road, I mean, I get bored on the treadmill, so I would think I would probably get bored just running on the road, but trail running really does have that connect to nature aspect to it. So it's
Mhm.
more of a, yeah, I don't know, more senses, more experience, more, yeah, a little bit more interesting than one foot right after the other. Yeah, I could never do treadmill. It's not interesting enough for me.
Treadmill, actually, I will say I have done many, many miles on a treadmill, and for me, a
Yeah.
treadmill is training the mind because when you're running at night,
Oh, true.
you're not seeing much. You're not seeing much,
Yeah,
and
that's true. And if they're, and if the race that you're in isn't allowing you to have AirPods or, any kind of thing in your ear, you can't be listening to a book or music or anything like that. So, very
yep.
true, very true. Oh, that's my cat. He's like, "Mom, you've been on too long already. You're still talking." So, you have any tips or tricks or anything else you'd like to leave us with today, Sherry? All about trail running?
Well, number 1 is have fun.
And yeah.
Number
What?
1 is have fun
What's
and forget your
what's
pace.
fun?
And forget your pace. See people post, "Oh, my pace was this,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know what? It's personal. It really
Mm,
is, unless it's between you and your coach, if you have a coach, and I'll say,
mhm. Good to remember.
for this, just going to get a run plan off the internet may not
Yes.
be for you, and
Mhm.
everything that
So
you do,
important.
think about your how many hours a week are you running versus how many hours a week are you sleeping, working, everything else. Everything funnels into your running, and a
Mhm.
lot of people use running as a stress relief,
Mhm.
and just enjoy it and have fun, and don't worry about what your pace is because a lot that's a hotbed for comparison.
Yes, and comparison, as we know, is the thief of joy. You are your own worst and best, right? So,
Absolutely,
very important.
me too. I can raise my hand with this one. Don't
Right,
try to
right.
always be faster, faster, faster.
Okay, okay. Sorry. Seriously, he's like, "Okay, mom. I've been in here for 45 minutes." Oh my
Yeah, and don't
goodness.
try to be faster, faster, faster.
Don't try. Okay.
Don't try
Yeah,
to be
so
faster, faster.
the best thing we can actually do is get in touch with you, right, Sherry?
Yeah, you
Because
can.
you will help us set all of this up and make it really is just like nutrition. A fitness plan, a running plan is so bio individual
Mhm.
because there are so many more factors too. It's not as easy as just pulling off any old plan that might look good or sound good on the internet that, gets you to whatever race or pace or, wherever you think you need to be because you might not know if you're just getting started. So, if you are interested in getting in touch with Sherry and having her help you out, she is a wealth of knowledge and experience. Drop guide down below. And what anything else you'd like to leave us with before I have to let my cat out of the office?
Very bad. If the listeners look behind me, those are some of the medals, and on the top row are
Look at
some of
that.
the buckles.
It is
And the
never too
medals,
late. It is never too late, ladies.
not a chance. Nope, never too late to get the medals
Get started. Yes.
and get started. And the medals,
Congratulations.
some of them are pretty sweet. Like they're pretty sweet. And did you earn that medal when you crossed the finish line? Yeah, you sure
Yeah.
did.
Oh,
You
yeah.
did. It's
Oh,
not a
yeah.
participation medal. It
Right.
is you earned it medal.
It's an actual yes, and there's a lot of hard work, but yes, a lot of enjoyment and commitment and community, it seems that, because we always kind of think of running as sort of an individual, very kind of lonesome kind of sport, right? But I love the community aspect that, you've mentioned with the events that you've done with, doing if you weren't in Canada and I wasn't in Oklahoma, I would be inclined to, train martial arts and run with you.
Oh, sweet, sweet. Well, and I train solo. Actually, that's what I do. I train solo because when I
Mhm,
train and stuff. But ask me in the races, I'm usually always
mhm,
running with somebody because somebody wants to
mhm,
run with me.
mhm. That's
I met
awesome.
one girl
I
with a
love that
race,
sport. Yep.
and I met one girl with a race, and we've been friends ever since.
Mhm. Love that. I love that. Empowering each other, holding each other up, holding each other accountable, helping each other along. Yeah, that's what we are all about here on Thrive Thursdays. So, thank you so much, Sherri. This has
Oh,
been
you're
a
welcome.
fabulous almost hour, probably our longest, and I'm sure we touched on several more topics. So I hope you will come back and treat us to more of your experience and wisdom after the holidays. I think is probably
Yeah.
when when we're going to get back to a few more things. So thank you so much. If you want to get in touch with Sherri, ask her any kind of questions about trail running or anything that was on the show today, please drop guide down below. We're going to make sure to hop back over to Facebook and check for any comments, and we'll drop any links down there for you as well. All right. So thank you so much, Sherri. We look forward to having you back.
Awesome.
Have a great day. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for popping on. If you're catching this on replay, please drop #replay down below. I hope you do get in touch with Sherri. I know I have some more questions for her because I'm thinking about my fitness coming up after the holidays. We've also been sick here at my home for the past couple of months. So we're hopefully recovering from all of that and gearing up for a festive holiday season. So thank you so much. Tune back in next week for our Thrive Thursday at 11 a.m., and I'll be announcing our special guest shortly. Have a great rest of the week, everyone.